matter what. And say what you want about Croco's Olaf, but it is an early game menace, right? Like, it doesn't scale well. He doesn't really have any enablers. All in all, I don't think the strength of Olaf is really at the point where you want to prioritize him. So not the biggest fan of that, but you do have hard engage available, right? And it does give you early game power. It does give you the priority and the dueling potential. And if Liv Sandbox wins this game, it's through stomping the early game, no matter what. And in that context, the Olaf makes sense. Obviously, still not super stoked about it.
Yeah. Well, we see the rounding out here of KT's composition as well, right? The Azir last pick, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
He's not going to play Sion. He's not going to play Set. He's going to play Azir. That's just the player that UCal is.
But neither of those two champions are really that great when playing from behind, right? Tristana in particular. So it's still going to be an early game decided matchup. And if last game showed us anything, is that KT roster cannot defend when they are the ones on the defensive. So it's level 2.
He's level 2.
He's like, we're getting the double crab, boys. Like, this is happening. He does take a spear to the face, though.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you have the Olaf. If you can support him here, it's going to work out nicely. But take a look at the poke damage they're already getting here. The problem is, there is no support right now. Zeus is behind on the side of KT, so the smite not going to come in, but it is going to be taken by Croco anyway. The stun onto Doran, but now they're looking to turn it around. Level 3 on effort now, but is it enough to actually try to survive? No, it will be not, as Gideon will land that spear through a couple of members and pick up that first blood.
In these early fights, this is what as Nidalee you really shine, because you do have more skills available than your opponents, right? Like,
trying to get on top of Gideon now. He doesn't have a splash, remember, as the auto will come in to heal. Will it be enough? No. The undertow will land, and we will have a dead kitty cat in the mid lane as UCal has to get out of there. Croco a little bit low on mana, but he's still chasing UCal out of the lane, trying to help out his own mid lane.
Listen, that one's on me. I gave Gideon credit, and then it goes awry.
Flash underneath the turret, and that's just going to be a straight-up solo kill. Doran is pissed.
The gold is going to further augment the Jace. I don't know. What is it? Just Gideon just gets hit by a scatter the weak point blank. Just as I was singing praises to him. And the reason, as I was saying it before, Gideon rudely interrupted me by getting, again, point blank scatter the weaks. Like, it doesn't really get easier than that. Is that the early power of this Jace and Nidalee is so strong because they have so much more skills available. And here we see Summit, or Doran rather, like, as clean as he can possibly get, right? Like, Summit, you've already flashed away. Doran knows that. Standing in top of this wave is no problem whatsoever. And I feel now Doran is just getting more and more fed. And we saw last game what this can lead to. In that context, the Gideon pick was really important. Might get a kill here as well.
Yeah, take a look at this. They are not happy with Doran bullying their top laner, and they are going to 3v1 him. He doesn't have Narbar, he doesn't have Flash either. He just has the one hop, able to hop on the head of Croco and get out of there. As now looking to turn this around, Zeus, no Flash, no escape. He's just going to get towed down here by the side of Croco. No escape for you. This is this early game power we're seeing out of the Olaf, as in goes Doran for some reason. He's just going to die. That's a double stun coming out from Fate, as now it's just going to be absolute disaster here for KT. Summit even looking to survive underneath the turret, as Croco will survive, and so will efforts, as a huge turnaround comes in from Liv Sandbox.
Liv Sandbox early game, when you give them an opening, is just insane, right? KT go in really deep there, but the moment that Summit hops away, you need to abandon their play. They're stuck underneath a turret. Zeus isn't level 6, doesn't have the Magnus Storm. They don't really have anything available.
Oh, Hybrid. He's going in for this one. Oh, he's got Rel nearby, and that might just be enough, but the last auto nearly able to take him down is Prince, as the Ignite is ticking, and it will take him out.
But this is the problem that we highlighted in Champ Select, right? Like, KT, in game number 1, they went for a slower comp. They didn't win the early game. In game number 2, they go for a comp with the early game power, but the execution just isn't there, right? Like, they try to overforce between two turrets. They get punished incredibly hard. And now the Rift Herald is picked up. Plates are still available. Liv Sandbox in this early game are just looking like a dominant force.
They're really trying to force the issue up here in the top side with that Rift Herald. But with 3 members of KT around, perhaps the Sandbox will back away. They're going to clear out all the vision for now.
Does it so well.
And Now Summit with an R-bar here. He's looking for more, and actually he's got Croco nearby too. Doran will have to flash away. Over the top comes Summit, and now with the flash in himself, he's going to be able to take down the Jace once again. Now on a killing spree is the Gnar after getting solo killed under his own turret.
Start of the day, you know, it's looking like a top side. Like, who's going to get the advantage there? But what Liv Sandbox has learned, which is something that they just didn't do well early in the split, is not just get the lead on top side, but actually snowball it, right? Like, actually get the rest of the map ahead as well. And KT, yet again, continue the trend of just looking kind of clueless as a whole.
All right, what's going on here? UCal going to get caught up and pulled in. The Emperor's Divide not able to help him out. As once again, we're face-checking brushes that they don't have vision in. Let's bring
I mean, that was
old Mordekaiser back.
Old Mountain, right? Like, you got extra damage on objective.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. We're diving the turret here. Doran is in a bit of trouble, but this might have been a little bit of an overstepping, actually. So Croco is now going to be the one that is in trouble. Gideon's on the chase. Nothing of it. Just throws out the Unleashed Power and backs away. As Summit, okay, he's got Strikebreaker.
Oh, no way.
Not in the shop. Gideon is going to miss another spear. It's now being kited out, but the Boomerang also going to miss here. The flash comes in, and Gideon now is going to land that spear. Gets the job done eventually.
And we see it's not the biggest, but the fact that this gold lead was able to swing in of itself is already kind of alright. As KT, they do have a lot of power. Don't forget, this is a negligible gold lead, and the poke should come through from them here.
Scout of the Week not going to hit as the stun comes in from Effort, denies the combo from UCal, but they're still pushing through here. RKT maybe going a little bit too far around this time, and man, Effort, he's really showing up here in the second game now. In goes Prince, looking for the last bits of KT's composition. He's going to find the bird, as now we're looking for the Yordle here. Down will go Tristana, and that is going to be an 18.5-minute ace from Liv Sandbox.
That's a clean ace!
And as you mentioned, I mean, you know, they've hit their power spike in the rounds, in the round robins, and also here in this game.
It makes so much sense, right? Because, like, it's still not 100% clean. There's still some mistakes left and right, but they go in, and they go in hard.
Void Staff, as now we're just looking to bully Doran a little bit. And Doran should know that this is coming now with the aggressive play from Summit. Going to be a miss on the Void Seeker, but the damage should be enough as he gets Gale Forced to death. It still Liv Sandbox very far ahead in this game, over 6,000 gold, and now they're on Infernal Drake's Soul point. So you're just piling on your lead at this point. The only thing they haven't taken early on in this game is the Baron. They've taken lives, they've taken all the Drakes.
We talk about his casters a lot, but it is also true. It's like, you just need to go for the Hail Mary play, right? Like, because if you don't try and go for a crazy Baron steal here, which it looks like Gideon is doing, so that's good at least, although I'm sure Summer's not going to allow that. What else are you going to do?
Summit's trying to zone away a lot of members here. At least he is going to move away from that spear, and now Gideon has to stopwatch early, but here comes the train. As the ball does land in from Fate. That's going to be the Baron and an extra kill onto the KT jungler. Very simply scooped up by Liv Sandbox.
Super well throughout this series.
Yeah,
it looked
really
funny
has.
at times, but...
Oh, Doran.
Yeah, I don't...
Once again. You can feel it. You can feel the tilt coming in from the side of KT. I mean, I don't blame them. If I were in this game as well, I would feel the same way. And it's not a good feeling, of course. We're looking at another 2-0 for Liv Sandbox. Really turning things on here at the end of the split, as now they're just going to go ahead and dive on in. Hybrid somehow survives through the Incathian Rain there. Croco, actually very tanky at this point in time, but the burn will come in from the challenging smite and be enough to take him down. As Inhibitor kind of inevitably does get taken out here by Liv Sandbox. So, you know, UCal, I think, has to be the one to make the bonkers play.
Just take the Drake. Don't dive. Thank you. Thank you, Liv Sandbox. I thought they were going to do it, Veldis. I thought they were going to, like, let's go. We got this.
Yeah, against Azir. Don't really advise that. They're still kind of sticking around here, just waiting for the Drake to spawn. And there it goes. Effort and Summit on zoning duty here. Is anybody going to get in the pit and try to steal this away? The answer is going to be no, as the cast moves Zeus in, and down he will go. The damage looking to be a little bit too much. Doran just immediately gets popped. Didn't even see where he went there. UCal kind of looking sad as he gives it his Whole college try as well. It's downhill go. That's going to be another kill. And now they're just running a hybrid. Looks like he might be able to get away here, but the rest of his team can't say the same about them. Actually, no, he's going to die too. Okay, there it is. Another clean ace comes out from the side of Live Sandbox, and that's going to be the clean 2-0 from them tonight.
And Live Sandbox show yet again their development throughout this split, right? It is a team that, honestly, at the beginning and in the midst of this split, just look kind of clueless. I don't know stringing it together to actually get to playoffs, but we keep going on about it because it's not a Hail Mary kind of thing, right? Like, it's legitimately, with how close these bottom couple of teams are, legitimately a really contentious battle for that 6th spot. And if I'm seeing this Live Sandbox, I don't know, man. They could do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Live Sandbox takes game number 2 as well. And they are keeping their hope alive for the 6th spot in the playoff. Live Sandbox had the same comp on the top side of the map stolen by KT Roaster, but KT Roaster was not able to steal away the game. So he had a lot of highlights down to the top side of the map because it's really what matters for this game. And we mentioned that poke comp is about getting ahead in lane and doing damage based on the item difference. But KT Roaster made some critical mistakes in this game, and they were not able to come back in this game. And first pick Gnar in B1, it's not that common because there are so many counter picks into Gnar. For example, Irelia, GP, and also Jace is one of the counter picks. But Live Sandbox was bold enough to B1 Gnar. And we had a lot of fights happening on the top side of the map, and I think Effort was doing a critical work in this game because he actually left Prince alone in the lane. He was always making rotation to top. Whenever one of the support actually makes a rotation, one of the other lane partner actually has to stay in lane in order to kind of punish that with a turret dive attempt. But this time around, both of the support players were rotating up to the top side of the map, and Live Sandbox was the one always winning those fights. We had a lot of fights happening on the top side of the map, so let's take a look at this first highlight where KT Roaster was losing really hard. Maybe KT Roaster could have just traded to play around the bottom lane, but KT Roaster, they were too caught up playing around the top side of the map. So let's take a look at this replay. Because Jace got the kill, KT Roaster, they were committing really hard to take the first Herald. So Nidalee and Azir was at the blue camp, and Tristana and Rel reset, and they were at the base. But at the same time, because they were too caught up with the fact that they have to get the Herald because they won the first topside fight, they didn't really keep in mind that Live Sandbox was also looking for a rotation to the top side of the map. Syndra obviously made a rotation to the top lane. She revealed herself. But still, Jace got dove by Live Sandbox player. Because KT Roaster, their mid and jungle were around the jungle camp, they could give heads up to their top laner, Doran. They have to tell them, because you're at the blue buff, you have to kind of back up. But Doran on Jace was still pushing the lane really hard, and he got punished later on. And after that, we started to see a top gap happening because Live Sandbox was able to punish some of the mistake coming from KT Roaster. KT Roaster, they did have a plan to come in for the Herald fight, but they didn't have a very detailed plan in order to maneuver the mission. KT Roaster, they had to, get ahead in order to play around their poke damage, but they were falling behind. And let's take a look at the second highlight. Once again, KT Roaster was getting over eager to make something happen on the top lane. So they were not able to get the first Herald, and then once again, they go all in for that play, but they don't have any heads up for the potential play coming out from the opponents. They had so much gold in their pocket, and Leap Sandbox had full heads up to counter that play coming from KT Roaster. I just think that this setup was not the one to pull off at this point in this game. Tristana and Rel was doing a fantastic work on the bottom lane. Maybe they could, you know, get the Drake instead of going really hard for that top lane. You know, Jace can stay under the turret. He can just take the CS under the turret. But KT Roaster, they went all in for that top play, even though they had some lead down on the bottom lane as well. And then they got countered so hard by Leap Sandboxer macro decision. I think Leap Sandbox had better macro overall today compared to KT Roaster, because Leap Sandbox had more space in their head in order to make better decision. And let's take a look at the POG for game number 2. Kroko will pick it up on Olaf. Olaf was able to, you know, purchase so many items at once. He had 2.5k gold in his first reset. It's not Kroko was just farming and clearing the camps. He actually was making fast rotation in every given situation. And these days, Olaf doesn't really build Gore Drinker. They instead go for the Shrine Breaker. I think this actually is a buff for Olaf in this patch. And we saw the reason why Olaf is still getting picked by pro players. The synergy with the Shrine Breaker is also really strong. Something we didn't really expect, but I think we do see the reason why Olaf is still getting picked, and a very split votes, but Kroko was able to pick up 2 out of 3 casting votes in this game. It was tied with support and top as well, but Kroko will be the one getting that POG by winning so many casting votes.